All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another OkieTradez study session. So, just want to start off by saying, what are these sessions about? Mainly just seeing what worked every day, and then, trying to align yourself to a theme. If you do notice a theme, how do we see a theme? Like if we see a similar type of stock make a similar setup multiple days in a row, and then if it just continues, well, that's a theme. Um, but other than that, I also want to break down like my favorite patterns, like daily chart patterns and stuff like that. So first thing I want to talk about today is this daily chart breakout on GME. Oh, I guess also I want to say that notice that there's like this high volume resistance right here. See this high volume candle? Normally you don't want to see any volume. You want to see all this low volume. And then during the breakout, like it is right here, all this high volume. Notice this high volume candle, where does it stop at? 1750. And notice where this run goes from. It goes from 11 up to 1750. And then every day it keeps perking up to that 1750 with strong volume. And every day it keeps holding up close to that level. It just signals that it wants to break it. Now, if we look at how GME ran, because you need to know the personalities of your stocks. I talk about this in other videos, but notice like the best runs on this stocks tend to be end of day. Like, look at this one, right? It runs into day over high of day. Had a decent little run early here, but main spot pretty much was this high of day entry, and it sent it end of day. And you had a little early run here, but the early entry failed. So that's not ideal. Early it failed again, but then you can see the end of day it runs. And then middle day, it tried to do it, but it was a little bit too early. Probably if it would have broke this high right here, it probably would have went, but stuffed. And then today, I even called it out in chat when it was up on the day. I said, if it can just hold above VWAP all day, like it did this day, then I suspect over high of day, end of day, it could run really well over the breakout level, which you can see the breakout level right here. So this is kind of like one of those scenarios where I buy end of day versus earlier in the day. However, I didn't buy it because I was out practicing disc golf. After I saw it dump off to right here, I didn't think in my wildest dreams it would reclaim and get back up towards high of day. So that's just a little bit of bad luck, or what, I don't know what you want to call that. But anyways, let's kind of look into the closer action here. So you can see this is the breakout level. And then we had this high of day set right here. So as it curled back up, it's telling you like, all right, once it's in this little area right here, you're like, okay, over high of day, I've got a nice risk level right here. So basically you just buy it right here, risking the last best dip right here, and then probably a swing, and it's going to go crazy tomorrow. But knowing me, I'd probably lock in 3/4 of my shares end of day into this nice run, and good risk reward, good trade, and high odds because of the way it's set up. And let's look at some of the themes that we're talking about now. This is a low flow theme where a stock is over VWAP and you buy it over its high of day. And that's what I'm noticing working right now. Maybe the theme will continue. I suspect if it does, that the risk to reward will get better and better and the payouts get better and better. So, yeah, because today they're like 2 to 1 and 1.5 to 1, and I don't really like that, especially if the odds aren't, like 50-50 or 60%, whatever. You need like 80% win rate if you're gonna have 1 to 1 or 2 to 1 risk reward. Um, so how would I play it? Like right now, I'm only gonna risk like $5 on a setup like this, which is nothing. I mean, you could just basically risk $1, just to get a feel for it. And every day it keeps working for me, and every day that I notice that I'm making money on it, just keep sizing up little by little. Because if it's going to be a theme, it's going to last a long time, at least a month, if not 2 months. And usually they last around 2 months to 3 months. So no need to rush size right off the bat. But we see a stock, it's low float, high volume, and you get this high day setup right here. That would be your risk. You buy it right here as it breaks through, and then your target is to sell into the second push. You don't know what the first push is until it has a pullback. So after the stock spikes and has a pullback, well, now you have a new risk level for one, once it starts to curl up. And two, once it breaks this high right here, now this is the second push. And if it starts to act weak, and especially if it goes back under, you just cut it right there. Ideally, it takes off and you get a really big win. Some days I'm sure will be better than other days. Today was just one of those days where, yeah, it worked, but it didn't work that great. You know, it's GD, another low float, and you see it spike up. Now on E-Trade, I didn't see it didn't have wicks like this on my chart, so I probably wouldn't have taken this just because I would have been nervous. But I want you to notice how like it got a lot less wicky right here. It got pretty tight, just under this high of day level. And so I would say that's probably a good idea to buy it right here, risking right here. You get this first push up, and you don't know it's the first push until you get the pullback. There's your pullback, right? And then it's confirmed that was the pullback. It pushes up, and then once it starts to pull back underneath this one, you sell it there. Ideally, it just keeps going up, but if it's going to pull back underneath this high, I would just cut it right there. And then you see that was a good cut. NTBL, this is a little bit better of a trade. Still not the greatest risk reward though. See, there's your high of day. This would probably be your risk. Now, I am noticing like this, right? There's that entry too, which is better risk to reward. But I've seen a bunch of these fail too, so I'm just thinking that this high of day entry is the higher odds play right now. So right now the higher odds play, and eventually I think the risk to reward will be a lot better. So right now, it's not all that great, but if you win, well then that's all that matters right now. So, and it again, it's just the start of the theme. It's only been happening 3 days in a row now. Today's literally day 3 that I've seen these happen. But again, okay, so we have our entry over high of day, and it gets a push, holds, second push. I probably so when we get this push and then it has this red candle, I would probably move my stop up to right here. But then as it starts to push, then I would probably move my stop up to right here, and then I would just cut it right there. Like, once we have the second push, I'm not letting a candle go underneath another candle, if that makes sense. I mean, you could just technically sell it right up here, but what if it held right here and then continued to go? So safer just to, in my opinion, to cut it on the first 1 minute candle to make a new low after that second push. All right, y'all. Kept it nice and short. Little 10-minute video. If you have any questions about anything, as always, just hit me up in Small Cap Rocket Chat. So, all right, everybody, take it easy. I'll see y'all tomorrow.